What can a person striving to be non-defensive do to foster well-formed teams? One, we can be brave. The first step in making connections is to put yourself out there. That doesn't require agreeing to speak at a conference or bearing your soul about your personal struggles. It can be as simple as showing how your child went to school that day wearing mismatched shoes, or laughing when your pet does something embarrassing in the background during your Zoom meeting. Chances are your teammates will not see you as an incompetent parent or pet owner. They may share about their kids, their fur babies, what they like to do, what makes them crazy. Second, we can be authentic. Be so completely ourselves that everyone else feels safe to be themselves too. When we bring our whole selves to work, we put the lie to the belief that our personal and professional lives are two completely different things. Third, we can practice empathy, not sympathy, which involves understanding someone else's situation from your own perspective. Empathy involves placing yourself in another person's situation and understanding why they have the feelings they do. Empathy for our teammates involves meeting them where they are each day. A healthy team does not require all its members to be healthy at the same time and does not marginalize members who are not. Empathy at work is also supported by the research. A study of 889 employees, published by Forbes magazine, found that empathy has significant positive effects on innovation. People reported they were more innovative when their leaders were empathetic. 61% of employees, compared to only 13% of employees with less empathetic leaders. Engagement. 76% of people who experienced empathy from their leaders reported they were engaged, compared with only 32% who perceived less empathy. Retention. 57% of white women and 62% of women of color said they were unlikely to think of leaving their companies when they felt their life circumstances were respected and valued. When they didn't feel that level of value or respect, only 14% of white women and 30% of women of color said they were unlikely to consider leaving. Life work balance. When people felt their leaders were more empathetic, 86% reported they are able to navigate personal, family, and work demands, compared with 60% of those who perceived less empathy. Another thing I learned right out of college is what it really means to have a mission, vision, and values. The motto of VA is to care for them who shall have borne the battle. Look around you. Who do you see fighting an uphill battle? Let us make it our mission to value and to care for them. Let's be real. Most of my career has felt like screaming into the void. And as anyone can tell you, I can be loud. I am still learning to tone it down when the people I'm speaking with need to reflect on the message more than I need to feel heard. Not curb my enthusiasm. I couldn't do that even if I tried. Soften my approach while keeping my intentions clear. Less senior teammates have said to me, "People respect and listen to you. How do I get my voice heard?" And I give them each the same advice. Outlast your enemies. Of course, this is coming from someone who has worked for the same company in its various iterations for 2 decades. Your mileage may vary. If you aren't in a position to outlast them, outmaneuver them. By which I mean, find a place that you believe in and feel that you belong. A place that challenges, encourages, and supports you. Another way to amplify a message is to step back and let other people speak it. Easier said than done, especially when those people haven't been given a seat at the table. I wasn't handed my seat. I pushed my way in and oftentimes resisted attempts to show me out. But now that I've found where the door is, I will hold that door open for others to follow. Not just that, but invite them into the room where things happen and introduce them to the others who find themselves there. And when the rebels I've teamed up with have the tools to do the job, you'd better believe that we will nail that door open so that more women, more people of color, more LGBTQIA, more neurodivergent individuals and those with mental illness, and more persons from other countries and cultures can walk through at will. If you want to stay where you are and transform a culture from within, you can be a leader at any place in an organizational structure, just as you can be an outstanding instructor, even if the people learning from you never achieve your preconceived notion of success. You can also be an effective team coach without being a professional at it. Don't believe me? How many of you have coached your kids' soccer or t-ball teams? My daughter was a natural with a wicked line drive when I became her mom. Once she was no longer playing with a plastic ball, she was afraid of getting hit. Now, she is a 22-year-old woman who practices self-care and sets healthy boundaries. She is a smashing success by any meaningful metric. Here are some other things I believe in deeply. The link between the study of forming neural connections and that of forming human connections is obvious. Practicing relentless authenticity and vulnerability takes courage. Only by being open to failure are we able to fail forward, to purposefully and deliberately use our missteps to find our way again. The most effective and well-formed teams can model social learning and empathy as best practices for others. We succeed in business by serving our fellows as well as our customers. Thank you for entertaining what this crazy old wizard has to say. And one more thing. In March 2022, the Canadian Council of Motor Transport Administrators once again extended the enforcement deadline for installing devices to January 2023.